Hi, my dear lovely Fundoo Class students. How are you? Welcome to the session. Hope you are keeping safe. Hope you are fit and fine. I'm very pleased to tell you that we have recently started with our grammar series and we are learning verbs. It's very interesting and I'm sure you're really going to enjoy it. So, in this session, we are going to learn types of verbs. But before we commence with our session, could I please request you to use the share button and invite your friends to the lovely class? Please use your share button and invite your buddies, your playmates, your cousins, whom you think that the session is going to be useful. Hi to everybody who has just joined. Welcome to the session. So good to have you. So good to have you, my dear lovely, lovely students. So we are going to continue with our discussion of verbs. Now, as we learned in the previous session that verbs are action words. So we said that, whenever the action is happening, like playing, dancing, cooking, reading, all these are actions. So we talked about action verbs in detail. Now we are going to take the discussion forward. But before we begin, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Juhi Narula. I have 12 years of experience in training students for various competitive exams. I also happen to be a life skills coach and a content creator. I have done my bachelor's in technology and master's in business administration. So that's a quick about me. Let's get started. Now, this is the second session of verb. One we already had. I hope you enjoyed watching the session and I hope you found it useful. Hi to everybody who has just joined. Welcome to this session. So good to have you. So let's get started and explore that what we are going to learn in today's class. Now, here we talk about physical verbs. So we are going to learn the definition and examples. So let's see what are physical verbs. Like we discussed previously that the verbs can be action verbs. They describe physical actions. So you can create a motion with your body or use a tool to complete an action. The word you use to describe it is like a physical verb, right? Like if I'll say Joe sat in his chair, so there is a physical movement that's happening. The dog breathes quickly, so when you're breathing, there's an action that's happening. And she chases her ball, so chasing is another action. Should we vote in the election? So if you will see, when we talk about vote, then we are doing what? We are doing actually a physical activity, right? So when the action isn't very active, action is done by a body or tool, we consider it to be a physical verb, right? So if your body is performing an activity, like say for instance, you are dancing, you're skipping a rope, you're eating your meals, you're making a diagram, you're making a drawing, or you're playing football, or you're playing guitar, or you're cooking your favorite dessert. All these cases, actually a physical activity is being taken place, and hence we call them physical verbs. So these are action verbs. They describe physical actions, specific physical actions. So there is to be the action is going to happen either if there is a motion with your body, or you are using a tool. So like if you are playing cricket and you hit a ball for a six, so you're using your bat, right? So that's where you are using a tool for an action to happen. So these are the verbs which we specifically call physical verbs, right? Isn't it very interesting? So what are we going to do? You are going to write five physical verbs that you perform in your day-to-day life, right? So until and unless you learn the application, you will find grammar to be very intimidating, and that we would definitely not want to happen with us. So what we are going to do, you are going to write five physical verbs that the actions that you do in your day-to-day activities, in your day-to-day life. So I'll just quickly give you a minute to do so, and then we are going to proceed further. Please do that. Write five physical verbs or action verbs. So it can be any activity that you do. You can just think from your morning schedule till evening that what are the five things that you do on daily basis, and then you can make a list and put in the comment section, so that it would be interesting to receive so many answers, and we would also be able to absorb the concept in a better way, right? So whenever we talk to students regarding grammar, nobody actually wants to study grammar. It is very monotonous, it is dull, it is boring, doing, and doesn't create that vibe and energy. I do understand, but why does this problem happens? This problem happens because you are not actually learning the application. You are just cramming the definitions. The moment you start learning the application, you will start finding grammar interesting, and that's where our ultimate goal will be, where we'll be doing some interesting series, and we'll ensure that you learn the application part also, so that you start enjoying the grammar sessions and you start getting better. So your writing skills cannot be better until and unless you have good command over grammar rules. So it doesn't give a good impression if you have written an article and you have made 10 grammar mistakes there, right? That leaves a very bad impression. And going ahead, that you there might be a case where you would not be using fancy words, but if your grammar is up to the mark, then definitely whatever you write creates an impression. But if this is the case that you're using typical words, you're using the words which are not frequently used, but there are a lot of spelling mistakes and grammatical errors happening, then that's absolutely a big no no, and we would definitely not want that to happen. And these are little mistakes. Imagine you're writing your resume or you're writing your statement of purpose, right? You're indulged in all these things, but then there is a grammatical error that happens, right? So it would really not give you a good impression. So please ensure that you do not do such mistakes, and that can really happen when we learn the specific rules, we learn the usage, we learn the implementation. Just superficially learning grammar would never help, right? You have to get into the details. Like a very simple example, you say for instance your teacher, maths teacher, helps you get familiar with the concept of time, speed and distance, and then what happens is the formulas, but you're not solving the questions. So you will not be able to master the question type, right? You need to actually solve the questions and learn how the formulas are going to work. Similarly, in grammar, you need to learn the definitions. Just be aware about it, right? The entire slide that you see, we have just two three things to remember: that physical verbs are action verbs, they describe physical actions, right? That is it. And that's very much that's very much easy to infer by just looking at the term physical verbs, right? Physical actions happening, like verbs that tell you that are the action words, right? So it's not something that you need to put a lot of effort in revising, in retaining the information. All you need to do is just be aware, acquainted, apply and retain, so that there is effectiveness, right? So what are we going to do? We are going to write 5 physical verbs, and I'll give you a minute. I started explaining. I know it's a bad habit of the teachers. They start giving a lot of lecture in between a topic. So I'll just stay quiet for a while, write 5 physical verbs in the comment section, and then we are going to proceed further. Great. So let's further proceed. Now we are going to see a lot more examples. Let's run to the corner and back. So running is a physical activity that's happening. So run becomes a physical verb. I hear the train coming, right? Call me when you're finished with the class. So you can see all these are some examples where we are using physical verbs, right? I hope you are clear with the concept. Quickly give me a thumbs up, and we are going to proceed further to the next one. So let's move ahead. Now we are going to talk about mental verbs, right? So mental verbs have meanings that are related to concepts, right? So you're not physically doing anything, but you are, discovering, understanding, thinking, or planning. So in general, a mental verb refers to a cognitive state, like, a state where you are, using your brains. Like I say, I know the answer, so I'm not doing any physical activity. If you say, ma'am, I know the correct usage, or I know the meaning of the word, then you are actually not finding a physical way to perform it. It is a cognitive state. I mean, your brain is doing that, so it becomes a mental verb. Now I say she recognized me from across the room. So if you'll see recognition, then what is happening is that there is no physical activity. It's your mind is working. You see a person and you say, oh, I know, I this fellow was my classmate in my junior classes, right? So that's how recognition is another mental verb. Do you believe everything people tell you? So believing is again what, a mental state, right? Again, you are not doing any physical activity while you are using the now using the verb believing. So take these three examples: know the answer, right, or recognized, or believe. All these are mental verbs. Mental verbs means that you are discovering, understanding, thinking, or planning. So there is no physical act that's being done, but it is an action that's in cognitive state, right? So I hope you are clear with the concept. Now what are we going to do? We are going to learn the third state of being verbs. So what are being verbs? It's very interesting concept, right? And there is another name to it. We call them linking verbs. So, linking verbs or being verbs explain the state of existence, right? These are inactive, no action is being performed here, but it is just the state of, existence, right? So, let's see. So, what are form of verbs? Is, am, are. These are usually the be form of the verbs. Let's consider some examples. I am a student. So, this is a state of existence. We are circus performers, or we are teachers, or we are independent people, or we are students. So all these are, just as this is a state of existence. Please be quiet, state of existence, right? uh, she air is present, so state of existence. She is intelligent, state of existence. So this has got a special name we call state of being verbs, right? So write five examples in the comment section where we give examples of being verbs. Everybody please do that. Is, am, are, all these are be form of verbs, right? Great, great, wonderful. So let's quickly take a small break, and once you come back, then we are going to do a quick exercise to learn the implementation of the concepts. So everybody please go take a tiny break and come back. I'll give you 2 minutes. Take a quick break and come back. Have a glass of water, or have chicky, or do some jumping jacks, or just close your eyes and meditate, or revise the type of verbs that we have learned so far. So everybody please go and take a quick break, come back, and then we are going to do this very interesting exercise where we are going to, identify that what are the physical verbs and what are the mental actions, so that our concept becomes clear, right? So please take a quick break and join me back quickly. Great. So I see a lot of students coming back. So good to have you back. I hope you're full of energy because now you're going to perform a task, right? So you should be absolutely, energy driven and motivated to perform this interesting exercise. So with the, sessions, whenever we talk about grammar, we will definitely ensure that whenever we learn the concepts, we spend the second half of the class in implementing the concepts in some questions. That ways you will become better with the understanding, and you will feel more confident and acquainted with the things that we have learned so far, right? So let's wait for a few more seconds for everybody to join back, and then we are going to solve this exercise, right? Great. So we have all the students joining back. Welcome back. I hope you're all set to, solve some interesting questions. So it's not very technical. It's an easy drill to solve. So what you're going to do, you can see that there are few verbs for you. So what are the verbs? Dance, dream, wonder, jump, imagine, think, worry, swim, understand, decide, run, search. So my God, there's so many actions that are happening. So you need to see whether they are physical actions or mental actions, right? So these are action verbs. You need to put them in two categories. Are they physical actions or mental actions, right? So take your time and use your scratch papers, open your notebooks, and I'll give you how many verbs are there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12, verbs in front of you, and you have to put them in two categories. Just don't do it orally. Rather, I would say invest 2 minutes and put the words in the specific categories so that we are aligned with the concept for today's session. So everybody, please do that. I'll give you 2 minutes. Quickly put the words in the categories so that we are comfortable with the concept. And then, of course, we are going to discuss. Stay focused, children. Don't look here and there. You need to concentrate. It's very, very important, right? So if we are not going to concentrate, then we are not going to learn. So, and always be very rigorous while you are doing an exercise. Keep your focus intact, right? Just learn the application. So in that case, then only you'll be able to assimilate knowledge, right? Which is our goal. And once you are aware of the terminology, aware of the classifications, then only you'll become friendly with the concept. Otherwise, the phobia is going to, exist. It's going to stay with you, and that's something we wouldn't at all want for ourselves, right? We would want that we are confident, we are focused, and we know what we are saying and what we are learning, and our grammar is intact, and it is it's not just cracking the exams, or it is just that just knowing the terms. It is important that while you go ahead, no matter whatever you do, you have to write the mails, you have to write the letters. These days people are bloggers, and with the social media coming in, people would like to post articles on LinkedIn, or there's so many other platforms. So there you will be reaching such a great audience, right? So people have so many connections, so many followers, and it's very quick that your voice reaches out to people. So in that case, if you're writing something, and then there you are finding, somebody finds that there's so many grammatical mistakes in it, so that would not definitely leave an impact, right? So that leaves a bad impression, and like I said, we would not want that for ourselves. So that is the reason, I keep on explaining the students that why it is important to learn grammar, right? It is not, some people might say that, ma'am, we would not want to pursue humanities further, we want to be an engineer, we want to be a doctor. Whatever you would want to be, you have to, come across people and where you are passing your ideas and you're writing, it can be any official mail for official communication. So that is something which is indispensable. So what you are learning is not just for passing English paper, but it is a life skill that you are acquiring, right? The moment we'll start realizing that, writing properly, speaking well, having great communication skills, this is just not pertaining to people who are in the industry where you need to have, good communication skills. It's for practically, to flourish in every job. If you're a manager and then if you're not able to, have a clear communication with your juniors, then it's problematic. Or you're writing a mail to your subordinate and there are five mistakes, and that person knows about those mistakes, so that doesn't show you to be smart. So ultimately, this is the time where you can learn and adapt. So there are so many students who come to us, where they would want to get better with their writing ability. Of course, there is no age of learning, and you can definitely be better at any point of time in any stage of your life. But what you will learn in this age group, right, that would be very quick, and you're going to, implement it, and then it's not going to be that difficult. Of course, it becomes difficult when you're learning in later stages, because then you are unlearning the strong things that you were doing and then relearning, so that there's an additional step. Now here you are just learning, so learn it right, learn it well, right? I hope I make sense. So quickly finish this drill, and then we are going to start with our discussion. Great. So I see most of the students finishing with the drill, and that's a great thing. Now let's quickly wait for the students who are still doing, so that we can begin with the discussion. Okay, great. So most of us have finished it. Let's do this. So the first action verb that you can see is dance, which is a physical action. So we will put dance here, right? I hope there is no doubt. Second is dream. So this is a mental action. So we are going to put dream here, right? Wonder is another mental action. So I'll just write it at both the places. This is the physical action. Dream is the mental action. Wonder is again a mental action. So I'll write it for you here in the table also. And jump is a physical action. So we'll write P here and we'll put it here. So jump is a physical activity that you're doing. Imagine is again a mental thing. So you imagine in your mind, it's a cognitive state. You're imagining being a pilot or a dancer or being a successful entrepreneur, right? So jump is a mental action that's happening. Think again. So it's think is again no physical act is being done. So think also you can put in the mental action. So we will put in the mental action. You can think about cracking your exam. You can think about what you're going to do when you'll go for picnic, or you can think about a successful career ahead, or you can think about what are the ways to enhance your vocabulary and grammar, right? Next is worry. So worry is what? Worry is again a mental action, right? So no physical activity is being done. So one should not worry though, right? So even if it's a mental action, we should not do so because it unnecessarily increases stress and doesn't add much to our day-to-day activities. So we should not worry. So this is one verb we should not perform. Right, so this goes away. Swim is definitely a physical action. So we'll put in this table, swim is what? This is a physical action that happens. Understand is again a cognitive state, so we will put it under the category of mental action. So this is understand, right? Further, we move to decide. Okay, before we move to decide, let me quickly mark it here also that this is a mental action. Then decide is again what? Decide is again a mental action. So again, there is no physical thing that you're doing. So you're deciding that what should be the remedy, to this particular problem. So it's a cognitive thing. So again, we'll put under the category of mental action. Run definitely is a physical one, and search again is a physical one, right? So both these are physical actions, right? So I hope you really enjoyed solving this drill and you had great fun and now you are comfortable with the concept. So this is your homework which shall be posted along with the solutions. And now what you're going to do, you're going to create a list of more such verbs and share on our Fundoo Class mobile app, on our Facebook group and Instagram. And what is the hashtag you're going to use? The hashtag would be Fundoo Class Live. So please do that. I'm so eagerly waiting to see your videos. In fact, the entire team is very excited to see that how are you going to make the videos for the grammar concepts. We got great response for our vocabulary videos. So we are looking forward to the same spirit and zest. And if you really like the session, do leave some interesting comments and let me know that what other topics you would want me to cover. And please don't forget me to follow on our Fundoo Class mobile app. You can easily get it on the Play Store. In case you're using iPhones, then you can use the App Store to download the app. And also ask your friends. Please do help spread the word, right? If you're really finding the sessions interesting, then please help us, spread the word and let your friends also get benefited with our amazing Fundoo classes. Like I said, our entire team is very excited and waiting enthusiastically for the videos to come. We would, as a team, love to see them. So please post some interesting videos that would really help you get better with the communication skills. You'll feel more confident and you'll, of course, retain the concept in a better way. So please do so. And then what is very important is that you continue learning and you keep revising. Don't forget that consistency is the key. If we make small steps on everyday basis, then you're going to see a phenomenal improvement in your learning, in your personality, in your concepts. And it's not only verbal, but anything that you do, if you're doing it regularly, if you are having a dedicated and focused approach towards it, you will definitely see improvement. Effort if you are making, that will definitely help you get better, but ensure that your effort is in the right direction, right? So please keep working hard and help us spread the word. Take good care of yourself, stay masked and ensure that you do not move out. Be COVID warriors and take good care of yourself. Thank you so much for joining in for the class. Bye bye, see you.